Hey guys, what's happening? Aaron here. Well, you ready for this one? The first review of August, and kind of winding down the summer review season at this point. Going to be talking about, of course, 1987's Jaws on the original Nintendo. Definitely has to be probably in my top 10 NES favorite games of all time. The game is ridiculously simple and doesn't really have a storyline or much going on with it. I just remember playing it all the time as a kid. And the funny thing is that growing up, I was probably around 6 years old when the game came out, and the majority of the game is based off of Jaws: The Revenge, the fourth movie in the series, not the original one that came out in 1975. But when the game came out, obviously we played it a whole bunch and rented it all the time and everything like that. And then I think it was maybe a year later, maybe 2 years later, I ended up seeing the movie, or maybe it was even longer than that. It could have been like early 90s, because I think Jaws: The Revenge came out in 87 as well. So yeah, maybe I didn't even watch the movie the game was based around until early 90s. Because obviously my parents were not going to let a 6-year-old watch an R-rated movie. And I thought it was funny because I remember seeing the movie, and I was like, oh, this is cool. They made a movie off of the video game that I played so much growing up. And it's like, no, Aaron. They both came out the same year. The game's based on the movie, not the other way around. But other than that, I've been really looking forward to doing this review. Hope you guys enjoy it. Try not to get too much sun. Thanks for watching, as always. Holy shit! I just realized something. It's 2017, and the game came out in 1987, which means that makes this the 30th anniversary year of the game. I just realized that. Sorry. Back to the review. Holy fucking shit! Is it time for me to really get around to reviewing this? Well, I figured since it's summertime, and I spend as much time as I can at the beach, why the hell not? Dun-dun. Dun-dun. The original movie came out in 1975, but this beast, this penultimate classic on the original NES, dropped onto our shores in 1987. And damn, do I have memories of this one. Is it the fantastic storyline? Well, not exactly. The game has no story. How about the memorable characters or terrific controls? Nope. So what the hell? Why this game? Let's find out. Even though the game is called Jaws, which one would normally expect it to be based on the first movie, the game is more based around the fourth movie in the series, Jaws: The Revenge. The box art for the game even pretty much steals the poster art from the movie's poster. Didn't even try to change it. Anyways, so you start off into the great blue ocean, aboard your trusty clipper ship. You're not told what's going on, or what you're supposed to be doing, but it's a Nintendo game, so that's perfectly okay. Remember, way back when we were growing up, and you mostly rented NES games from the video rental store, they never came with manuals, so you just had to figure everything out, okay? While sailing around, you'll notice your sonar blip at the bottom of the screen, but more on that later. Besides having no story, your only other visual clues as to where to go are these small anchor icons, so head there. But oops! You hit something! You now descend beneath the waves, and here's where the majority of the gameplay takes place. During the scuba diving section, you'll fire spear gun bolts at stingrays, squids, and other animals, even baby jaws. I'm not sure if that's actually what it is. I think it's listed in the manual as just a shark, but we always just called it baby Jaws growing up. The goal here is to collect seashells without getting killed, as seashells are the currency in the game. After a short while, you return to the surface to continue your quest, whatever the fuck that is. Okay, so the point of the game is to collect seashells and to sail between two ports of call. Each time you dock, your power level is increased, beefing you up for your upcoming battle with Jaws. If you have enough seashells to power up, that is. You also have at your disposal along the way a mini submarine if you choose to save up enough seashells for it. Little better firepower against Jaws, and better movement underwater, but that's about it. Now, every once in a while, during your travels, you'll accidentally run into Jaws himself! Oh shit! This is what the sonar at the bottom of the screen does. Just like in the movie, the closer Jaws is to you, the quicker the blips occur. You're allowed to attack Jaws directly with your ship for a little while, using cannonballs, before Jaws hits your boat and you're thrown into the water. This is where your power level comes into play, as the higher your power level, the more damage you cause to Jaws, thus allowing you to enter the final portion of the game quicker. Because once the fight with Jaws begins, you only have a limited amount of time to drain his energy, before you return to the surface and the fight resets itself. So once your power level is high enough, and you're able to deplete Jaws' life bar, you're taken to the final round. Here, in first-person view, you're supposed to wait for Jaws to jump out of the water, then ram him with the front of your ship, which is totally what happens at the end of Jaws the Revenge. You have 3 chances, and if you don't time it right, or you miss, then the battle ends, and you sail around again, trying to ram into Jaws to trigger the whole fight all over again. Believe me, this spearing with the boat mechanic is picky as fuck. It literally takes about, 20 tries or so to successfully kill this fucker. No joke. But once you do, Jaws sinks to the dark depths, and you fly the hell out of there. Graphically wise, it's a Nintendo game. Is it the best looking NES game? Not really. But this one is heavy on nostalgia, so I'm not going to knock it down too much. There really isn't an abundance of overly complicated designs or moving shapes, besides your character and the underwater animals. The backgrounds are static, but that's okay. This game rocks! It's funny though playing through it today, and I kinda hate to admit it, but looking at the game as a whole, it could almost be confused with maybe a late Atari game. Or, an in-between Atari and an NES game. Am I the only one seeing that? Anyways, the first-person perspective during the final fight actually looks pretty good considering the limitations of the NES. The audio is very simple. There's only about 3 or 4 pieces of music in the entire game. So I really hope if you ever play this game, the underwater music doesn't annoy you, because you'll be hearing that shit a lot. It is pretty cool that they were able to use the original theme during the title screen, but sadly, no other music synonymous with the movies makes it into the game. Sound effects are also on par for the NES, although it would have been nice had they found a little less irritating sound for shooting the spear gun, as that can also get a little annoying after firing about 10,000 of those fucking things. I especially like the music that plays during the bonus stage. It always reminds me of my early years, growing up with the NES, sitting in someone's basement during the summertime, playing this game. Overall, Jaws is a total classic, and probably always will be. It's super simple, it's mindless fun, and I love it. If you've never played it, I highly, highly recommend it. If you go into it just looking to have fun and don't really expect much out of it, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, go check it out. And one thing I could never figure out is that if you have access to a plane during the bonus stages, not only being able to drop cannonballs into the ocean, but if you have access to it, why can't you just call it in and crash into fucking Jaws in the first place? I mean, I know that would probably end the game pretty quickly, but still, it doesn't really make any sense.